In this video, I want to show you how to create this checkbox board in Excel that can either activate or deactivate a highlight that we have within the dataset. As we can clearly see, I can use many different criteria, such as highlight by brand, highlight by margin, and within those main options, I also have some sub-options to choose. And whenever I unmark a checkbox, we can see that the highlight is hide. So let's take a look on how can we create this interactive board in Excel to either enable or disable a highlight within the dataset. Let's go. Let's get started with the checkbox board in Excel, because we also know that we're going to need to set the conditional formatting to be responsible to highlight the cells. But let's keep up first with the board. So let me go here to insert, and I want to create first the background. So I can go to shapes, and maybe I can use a rectangle with rounded corners. Just click here, click, hold, and drag to set the area of the rectangle that you need. Maybe I want to use this area right here, maybe a little bit to the right. Okay, it's good. Let me click in this rectangle, and I want to make it sharper with sharper corners. I want to go to shape format, use a yellowish color to the background, a border as black, and a shadow. Okay, I think this is okay. Now let me go again here to insert, shapes, and then I want to take just a normal rectangle, because with this normal rectangle right here, I want to set the headers that I'm gonna have. And as the headers, I mean the title, highlight by brand, highlight by margin, or all the other names that you need to use. 1, 2, within the shape, highlight by brand. Now let me select everything right here within the text, home tab. I want to align vertically and to the left. I think it's okay. Put everything here with a black color and no fill and with a bold text. Another thing that I need to do is in shape format, I need to get rid of the outline to make the format transparent. I can also take now this shape that I did, the header, Control C, Control V to copy and paste. Let me bring this one down, maybe right here. And this one I want to highlight by margin. Maybe I can take this one a little bit up. Now it's time to input the checkboxes. And to create the checkboxes in Excel, we can use the Developer tab. If you don't have access to the Developer tab yet, maybe you need to enable the Developer tab. So go to the Home tab, and within any blank spot, you can right-click and go to Customize the ribbon. Instead of using popular commands, you can use All tabs or Main tabs. Let's keep up with All tabs. Here, you're going to find Developer, click, and then click Add, and then click OK. Simple as that. Now you have the Developer tab activate for you. Let's go here within the controls, insert, and then the first checkbox, form control. Click. And now it's time to set the area of the checkbox. Let me right-click within this checkbox, edit text, and this one is going to be supplements, because supplements is the name of a brand that I have right here. So supplements, 1, 2, 3 brand, and brand ABC. Those are the 3 different brands that I have within this data set. So this is what I need to do right here within this checkbox option. And to duplicate this checkbox, we can do again, right-click, hope, let me press ESC, and then Control V. Here we have another checkbox. Let me set the checkbox right here. If you have some difficulty to properly adjust the checkbox position, you can use the arrow keys in the keyboard because it's much easier. Right-click again, edit text, and this is going to be 1, 2, 3 brand. I'm going to set all the checkboxes that I need to use, okay? And I will be back in just 1 second, but I think at this point, you already understand what you need to do. Copy and paste the checkboxes and edit the text to the one that you need to use, okay? Simple as that. Okay, I'm done with all the checkboxes, and I basically did what we was doing before. I did the first checkbox, and then Control C, Control V, adjust the position of the second one, change the text, and then again, and again, and again. So it's very simple. Now what we need to do is, whenever I click in the first checkbox, or in the second one, the third one, and so forth, as we can see, nothing is going to happen. We need to set a condition for those checkboxes. So let me right-click within the first one, and then I can go to Format Control. With this new window that's going to appear here for me, I can go to Cell Link and click in this up arrow, and maybe I can click in this cell right here to the right. And then I can click in this down arrow, and then OK. Now, whenever I mark the first checkbox, as we can see, I'm going to have either true or false. Depends on the condition, depends on if the checkbox is marked or not. Now let's go to the second one. Right click, format control, and then cell link I want to place underneath the previous one. Okay, the third one I'm going to do the same. And for the fourth one, the same thing, and on and on and on. Okay, I just finished to set all the checkboxes and link those checkboxes with those cells to the right. Let's check if it's correct. The first one is correct, true or false. The second one is also working. The third one's too. The fourth one, it's okay. The fifth one and the sixth one. So all those checkboxes are working. And doesn't matter if you are using a different range that I'm using right here to link the checkboxes to the cells, because it's gonna work in the same way. The important thing is you need to have a true or false to all the checkboxes in a cell to the right or to the left, whatever. Okay. Now it's time to set the conditional formatting. Let's start with the first one, but be mindful because I need to have true in this cell, and I also need to have supplements. If both of those informations are true, so I need to highlight the specific cell. To do it, let me go to the conditional formatting tool. But before, let me select everything that I have within the column E, because here is where I want to apply the highlight. And then I can go to the Home tab, Conditional Formatting, and New Rule, okay? New Rule. As I want to apply two different criteria, I'm gonna need to set myself a formula to whether or not highlight the conditional formatting. And that way I need to stick with the last option, use a formula to determine which cells to format. And within this formula bar, I want to input the equals sign, and then I want to type in and. And is a function in Excel that will allow us to use many different criteria to check whether or not a condition is true. So the first criteria is going to be equal to, let me open parentheses first. Okay, I want to check if the first cell that I have, I'm selecting here the header because of the range that I selected, okay? Because I select the entire column, I need to start first with the first cell. And it's very important because I want to apply this conditional formatting to all the rows that I have. The first one, the second one, the third one, the fourth one, the fifth one, and on and on. I need to get rid of the second dollar sign. As we can see, I have two dollar signs, one before the column, one before the row. I need to get rid of the second one because this is going to allow the conditional formatting be applied to all the rows that I have. And whenever the cell that I have is equal to open quotations supplements, it's because it needs to be highlighted, close quotations. However, I have one more condition to input here. So, comma, and the second criteria is this cell that I have right here. So this cell right here needs to be equal to true. So that cell needs to be equal to the word true. Here, you don't need to input the open quotation, quote and unquote, because true and false in Excel is basically a statement. But anyway, let me close parentheses right here. Now let's format, if it's true, a cell with maybe a purple color, and as the font, I want to use a white one. Okay, and okay again. As we can see, it's working. Supplements are being highlighted with this purple color. And if I uncheck the supplements, as we can see, the highlight is going to be high. So it's working. I'm going to do one more time for the second brand that I have, 123 brand. And I want you to try to do the third one, okay? Because it's the same principle. You're going to do the same thing over again. However, the only thing that you're going to need to change is the name within the quotations and the reference of the cell. Instead of using this cell right here, you're going to use that one, and then that one, and so forth. So let me do one more time. Click in the column E, and then Home tab, Conditional Formatting, New Rule, use a formula to determine which cells to format, equal sign, and open parentheses. I want to check the first cell right here, starting in the first cell. Let me get rid of the dollar sign as we did learn before. Whenever that cell is equal to, what is the second brand? Okay, 123, quote, 123, brand, unquote, comma. And I also need to check if this cell right here, the second one now, is equal to the word true, the statement, close parentheses. If it's okay, if both of those conditions are true, so I want to format the cell with a white font, and as the background, maybe I can use a green one like this, or actually a red one. Okay, okay again. Yeah, as we can see, there's no red highlight in the cells. But if I check here 1, 2, 3 brand, let's see what's going to happen with those cells. Yeah, it's working, as we can clearly see. I'll not do the third one because it's going to take a long time, so I want to skip to the highlight by margin. But as I said before, if you want to apply the conditional formatting again to this new option, it's basically the same thing. You're just going to need to set the name, the new name and the new cell. Simple as that. Let's go now to the highlight by margin. And to do the highlight by margin, I don't want to just highlight the margin column. I want to highlight the entire row that I have within this data set. So what I'm going to do is I want to select the entire data set. You don't need to select the headers because I don't want to apply the conditional formatting for the headers. But if you want to, you can do so. It doesn't matter, okay? But I want to just keep up with the area of the data set. And then let me go to the Home tab, Conditional Formatting, New Rule. Use a formula to determine which cells to format again. And this time, equal sign and open parentheses, and is the function, okay? And if the margin that I have right here, okay, the first one, this time I will not start with the header to be used as the first cell because the range that I'm using does not include the header, okay? So this is why I'm starting with this cell right here. If this margin, let's again get rid of the $ before the column for the same reasons that we did learn before. If the margin is greater than or equal to 30, greater than or equal to 30%, okay? I want to highlight the cell, but the second criteria is going to be, comma, if this cell right here is equal to the statement true, close parentheses, format, and then I want to have here, let's say, because it's greater than or equal to 30%, maybe I can highlight with a green color, okay, and okay again. As we can see, nothing happens here. However, if I check the first checkbox, we can see that the highlight is working. And another thing that we can notice is the greenish highlight is overlapping the reddish one. If you want to, let's say, change this overlapping, you want to let the reddish one over the greenish one, you can do this following thing. Let me click in the first cell here, doesn't matter. Home tab, Conditional Formatting, and then Manage Rules. We cannot see anything right here, but let's click in Current Selection and change to this worksheet. Now we can see all the rules that we set before. The green one is over anything else, is above anything else, and the red one is underneath the green one. If you want to keep the red one to overlap the green one, you can select here the red one and move it up. Simple as that. And then if you click OK, you can see that now you can notice that the red one is overlapping the green one. So this is how you can change the position of those highlights that you have. Let me set the second highlight right here between 15 and 30%. I will not do the last one because it's basically the same as the first one. The only thing that is going to change is the percentage. Instead of using 30%, you need to use 15. And what is also need to change is the logical operator. Instead of using greater than or equal to, you're going to need to use less than or equal to 15. So it's basically the same thing. Now let me set this one right here in between. So again, let me select the entire range of the dataset. Okay, Home tab, Conditional Formatting, New Rule, use the formula to determine, equal sign and open parentheses. Whenever the margin value, let me get rid of the $, is greater than 15%, I want to highlight the cell. However, I don't want to highlight all the cells that are greater than 15. Let's say I have a margin that is equal to 60%. So it's much larger than 15, right? However, 60 is not within the threshold that I have. It's not within the limit because it's surpassed the 30% that is my maximum value. So I need to also set the starting point and the ending point. And this is what I'm going to do now. I also want to the margin and get rid of the second $. I want to this margin be less than 30%. And if both of those conditions are true, I still need to check for the third one. That is, this cell right here needs to be equal to the statement true, close parentheses. If it's okay, format with a yellowish color. And then okay, okay again. And let's check if it's working. Okay, yeah, it's working. And again, we need one more time to change the position of the highlight to make sure one highlight is not overlapping another one, and on and on. So let me go here to the Home tab, Conditional Formatting, Manage Rules, see all that worksheet, and I want to have the yellowish one in the last position, and maybe I can take also the green one and put in the last position. Okay, yeah, that's it. Now it's working. So this is how we can basically set this checkboard in Excel to enable or disable the highlight. And if you want to just make some less change right here to properly finish this checkboard, you can do something like this. You can click within the shape, the background, as we can see. And another thing that we can notice is if I click in the background, click, drag, and move, just the background is going to move, and all the other options is going to stay in the place. Now, how can I do to move everything together? Let me click in any shape that I have right here, such as the background, and then I want to select everything else with the Ctrl-A shortcut key here in the keyboard. That way I can select basically everything that I have. And then I can go here to the shape format and group. Now everything is band together. And if I click, hold, and drag, as we can see, everything is going to move together. Let me place this checkboard over the formulas, the statements that we have, because that way nobody's going to see the calculations that we did, just ourselves, okay? So that's it, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video on how to create this dynamically checkbox to enable or disable the highlight within the data set. And if you have any questions or any suggestions to the next videos, let me know, comment down below, and I see you tomorrow, because every day has a new video.